Howdy, everybody.
Yo.
It's Monica and Joe. Oh, I keep pointing the right way. I got it. How are you tonight, Joe?
I'm good. I don't know what this rain brought in. Well, it started like, it wasn't raining, but like misting, raining. But whatever it is, has me like freaking my eyes watering like crazy. Like, and it hasn't stopped for like 3 hours ever since it came in. I'm like sitting there, literally, that's like I'm crying, but I'm not crying.
That sucks. That sucks. You know, I don't get allergies as bad as I used to.
Yeah. I never got them until I got into my probably mid 30s. Like, I was like, what is this allergy stuff of which you speak? You know, like I had no clue what people were talking about. Then all of a sudden it hit me. And yeah, it's no chump.
Yeah, I guess it was like I was in my early to mid 30s when I started getting them. But then it stopped. Yeah, and I would get it so bad, like I couldn't breathe. My eyes would swell shut. I'd be sitting at my desk, like mouth breathing, because that's the only way I could get oxygen in. And I would sneeze nonstop. My eyes would just itch. But it went away. It went away coincidentally when I switched jobs. So I really do think there was something in that office.
In the building, yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't be surprised. No, it's funny now that I got when I started getting the allergy thing. I don't know if you ever seen what's that movie? It's an Adam Sandler flick, and it's got him and the dude from King of Queens and Chris Rock.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
No, Grown-Ups.
Oh, well, they were in both of those.
yeah, they were. You're
yes, I love Grown-Ups.
But it's funny, you know how he does that cough, sneeze, fart thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
I do recently for the last, I don't know, maybe about a year, I do a two sneeze cough. Like I'll be like, and Jen's like, what the hell is like, I have no clue, man. No clue. It's just weird.
It just started doing that. Yeah. That's what I would look at my poor husband. Like, I give him such shit because he gets the hiccups, like out of nowhere. He just gets the hiccups.
Oh, that sucks.
It does. And he'll be like, and I'm just staring at him, like I'm giving him death stares. Like, fuck at him. Oops, sorry. I just, get out of my field of vision, especially where I can hear you. Because, I mean, if somebody just gets a hiccups, then whatever. But when it's like all the dang time, I'm like, you need to stop breathing or whatever it is.
You better stop that involuntariness.
I know, and I feel bad because he's like, I'm so sorry. And he's sitting there hiccuping. And I'm like, then I feel bad because, dude can't help it. I'm like, you need to see a doctor, sir. Like, that's not normal.
I hate getting them when I'm drunk because it makes me sound like I'm a lot more drunk than I am. I'm like, no, I swear, dude, I'm not.
No,
like, bro.
He's just a little bag of escaping gases. I'm just gonna put it that way. And like every man, he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. Yeah. Like he's got her son doing it or something. So it's the funniest thing in the world too. But I mean, he's 12. I expect a 12-year-old to, what is it? Sneeze, cough, fart, or whatever. Right. Yeah. I would expect my son to do that. Don't expect 56-year-old to be doing it.
Yeah, the double sneeze and cough is weird because it's totally involuntarily. Like I was just happens, boom, boom, and boom, and I'm like, where did that come from? Like I had no desire to do neither.
But if that's just like an occasional thing, like I get that. My dear husband does it nightly. Like I'm not even kidding. And he's like, oh, like if he gets like an upset study, like if it starts coming out of different body parts, he's like, oh, it was the meat. Oh, it was the. I was like, dude, it's the food. It's the air you breathe. You can't. Don't try to blame the food.
Right. Oh, that zucchini really did it this time.
That's so, yeah. And there are some foods I just know, like, I'm going to go sleep on the couch. Like, I wish we had a guest bedroom or I could just escape.
Oh, dude, you have no, yeah. I'm right there with you.
So, anything good? Anything new in your world?
Nothing new.
And the allergies trying to kill you?
Yeah, other than that. I'm hearing an echo on me. Do you hear it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Audience, if y'all hear an echo, let me know. No, it's been same old, same old. Actually, yeah, it's nothing new. I mean, we did the Monday show.
Yeah, that was fun.
I had a blast. And then so do the show tomorrow, and then the event at the gas station is kicking off tomorrow. So
okay.
So Jen's she literally got home today and she was beat half to death because I think she cooked 11 briskets.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So she was cooking briskets all freaking day long.
And she's got to time those just right because it's not like they're done in a few hours. You got to cook those things for a minute.
And whenever you're doing multiples, you have to do 2 different pits. Well, yeah, there's 2 different pits, so you got to maintain the fire on both pits. So you're constantly back and forth and keeping this one up and cooling that one down, and it's very interesting. And then apparently the way they do it is they have the main restaurant inside, and then they also put briskets and stuff out there's a food truck outside. Mm-hmm. So like the outdoor people who aren't interested in going into the store, they can just go straight to the food. And apparently the kickstand on that thing fell. So the day before they were gearing up for all this, the whole freaking food truck fell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they're out there with
like the whole truck tipped over.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it didn't tip over on the side, but it boom, it like fell on its hind end. And so or I guess where it attaches to the vehicle. Yeah. So it fell forward.
So the tow hitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. That sucks.
So they were out there with freaking car jacks, and there's nothing but chicks really work there. There's like one dude that works there. So imagine a bunch of chicks with like random car jacks trying to wash. Yeah, yeah.
But with meat.
Meat. Yeah.
With the meats. I always think of dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yeah.
Car washes. So
get in there real deep, like.
Yeah, boy, get in there real deep, like. I love that actor, Justin. What's his face?
Yeah, Justin Long.
Too young for me, but I thought he was adorable. So I was talking about New Orleans today. My group keeps building up. We're gonna have a lot of people in New Orleans. And I found my photos from when I was there last year. Ooh, New Orleans. I'm so excited to go. I'm so excited for fall to like kind of quasi be here too.
Yeah. Now that I'm seeing the sunset early, I'm like, here it comes.
It's easing back.
Come on, baby.
Easing down.
Yeah.
It's a chilly 92 degrees.
Yeah, I love it, man. But the rain's starting to come in, and I have a convertible that leaks. And it's not like Return of the Living Dead leaks, but it's enough to where it starts like leaking into the fenders. So when you're driving, you can hear it sloshing. And but so and people are like, dude, you'll get a new freaking convertible top or whatever. But it's like $1,200 for a top.
It's expensive.
Yeah, but I paid like $3,800 for the car, and it's lasted since 2019. So I'm like, deal with sloshy fenders, you know. I mean, it's not leaking inside really, but I'm like, is it worth it? I'll just let it die when it dies. It's a Toyota for crying.
When God calls it home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was called home.
That old mare's been kicking long enough. When it's time, it's time.
Hear me click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. So we're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff tonight. Yeah. Right? We're going to talk about Nahini Valley, which has been on my radar since forever. Like, I've known about that for ages. And I was shocked at how many people haven't heard of it that I talked to, like in the community. It's very interesting. And I think a lot of people, well, they haven't heard of it. You might know it as the Valley of Headless Men, right? It's also known as Nahini.
Or the Headless Valley.
Yeah, the Headless Valley. And it is like deep in the Canadian wilderness. Like, it's not a place you just, like, I'm just going to go there for the weekend. Roll up in your station wagon and camp out of the back of it for a day or two. No.
Yeah. Nah, because there's not even any roads. The only way you can get there is, well, I mean, especially back in the Gap. I don't know about now, but I know back in the Gap and where most of when a bunch of this stuff went down and originally recorded, it was either plane or months of hiking or boat. That's the only way you get there.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember because I looked it up like a few months ago because I'll go down, like, I'll get something in my head and I'll just like down the rabbit hole. And I pulled it up on Google Earth. And then I started just zooming in and going up and down rivers. And you can figure out where all of these incidents took place because it's pretty graphically named on Google Earth. And yeah, it's pretty deep in there. And it seems like the only way to get there is definitely from the river. I don't even know if a float plane could get you in there because I don't know how steep those valleys are. Because I'm looking at the images on Google Earth and also just images like Google Images from people that have traveled through there, and it's like those mountains are pretty stout.
Yeah, just the when they describe, okay, so the Flat River is what goes up in there, and when they just describe they're called the Four Caverns or the Four Chambers, but the further you get, it's about a 10-mile stretch of river. It's a lot of rapids, but just the description. So like the river itself is over 1,000 feet deep. When you get to like chamber 3 and 2, it's basically just straight sheared rock right on both sides of the river, and it goes up like 3,000 freaking feet. So and there's no shoreline, because it's just like mountain going straight into the water. So imagine being out there, especially back in the early 1900s, whenever there's no, you pass the point of no return. There's no calling in a helicopter to come get you out if stuff goes down and you're stuck. You can't get out of your boat. It's not like you can go pull over to go relieve yourself or anything like that. You gotta trek through it. But I mean, imagine that me, honestly, because I have megalophobia, that is frightening. Imagine looking up and all you see is 3,000 feet of sheer rock on both sides of you, and you're in a narrow river. Like, yeah, I didn't sign up for this. We're turning around. Excuse you guys. I'm going
I'm going home.
home. But
Carmen's
it's
gonna be our
supposed,
mascot.
yeah, definitely. But it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful places on earth because of the lack of human intervention. So
Sure.
it's one of those very few untouched places, and apparently something is trying to keep it that way.
Yeah. So just that's one of the things that is alluring to me when I think about, investigating places or going out on, like expeditions, just going deep in somewhere for a week or more, is the remoteness of it. And what I know we talked about this before, the remoteness of it and how likely it is, whether or not like people have walked there, and if
Yeah,
they had, it's not many. It's not many.
right. Well, yeah. So um, the thing about Nahini Valley, one of the weird ones is even so back before pre-recorded. So I know we're going to get into a lot of recorded history and
Mhm.
things that happened in the modern era, but apparently for thousands of years there have been indigenous tribes that try to go and locate there,
Mhm.
and they're completely wiped off the map. The Nahas, right?
Mhm.
They had almost kind of like what we were talking about on your last show with the uh what was that dang boat that everybody just vanished off of?
Oh, the Mary
um
Celeste.
Mary Celeste, right? So apparently, like when they found their setup or whatever, it was
Mhm.
the same type of thing. They were all gone, all vanished, but all their provisions were still there. Everything was left like,
Mhm.
the camp was untouched, but no people. So it wasn't like a massacre
Mhm.
happened.
Just that's a mass disappearance, and those are
Mhm.
interesting to me. And let me tell you, it's hard to find data on things like that, right? You might find like somebody mentioned it here or there, but unless you can find it in a book, you've got a book
Right.
that's good. It's hard to get information that's well reliable.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, at this point, it's so far back. How reliable is anything?
Yeah. No, I think that also comes into the account of, because we've discussed this before as well. It's um it's the transition of reliability as far as information is concerned to its presentation point. So now that you got Google or whatever, they can hide whatever they want about any subject they want.
Sure.
When you had hardcore paperback or you know physical
Right.
literature that contained it,
Well,
then
you've got the physical literature, but you can't verify that the information that's in there is accurate either. Like
well, yeah, yeah,
somebody put it in a book doesn't make it true all the time.
yeah, no,
You know.
no, absolutely, you're right. But that goes with freaking anything, really. I mean, the
Yeah, I
only
mean that's why you
reason,
need various sources. You got to cross
yeah,
check. Oh, there's
well, I mean, not just that, but it's like I've never been to France, but I believe it exists.
just not the other side of the world.
Yeah, no, it's just not the other side of the world.
Just not the universe. France is
No, it's just
there,
it's just
but
not even
Mars,
there.
no.
Yeah, no, no. It's all CGI, man.
Oh, in your head, dude.
It's all in your head, man.
um, oh my goodness. So yes, the Naha like warned people trying to get in there, right?
Yeah,
That it was a very dangerous place. Like, don't like they wouldn't get off the boats. They're like, yo, dude, you might want to like we ain't stepping foot in there, but you might want to like go, like hoof it the 3 days back to
right.
some semblance of civilization. And I want to say, gosh, when did the first
1904.
Was it 1904? And the last one
Well,
was like relatively recently, right? It was like
yeah,
in the
as
40s.
no, as there was actually one of the last ones was in 46,
Yeah.
but I think there was even one as late as like either the late 60s or early 70s. So in 1904, the McLeod brothers, there were three of them. Uh, I can't remember their names. One was Charlie, one was Charlie St. Cloud, Frank St.
Mhm.
Cloud, and I want to say William St. Cloud. I might be wrong on the last one, but I know the first two are on point. Yeah,
Wow.
Willie St. Cloud. Yeah, and so they went up the river and they had like I want to say 8 gold schoons, which is you put the schoon on the side of the water and it lets all the dirt and everything and catches all the gold or mineral
Oh, like a
deposits.
sluice?
Yeah.
Like a sluice
There you go.
box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went up there and they got a pretty substantial amount of gold. They were like,
Mhm.
sweet. And they were like, we'll take it back. And then, we'll get some money and then we'll gear up, to come back and actually, do a bigger dive into it, get some more gold. So, but the rapid got on the way back. And uh, so what happened was broke the boat broke apart. They tried to go back to get more gold, and they makeshifted a boat out of trees and parts of their old boat.
Mhm.
And so, but they didn't find nothing. They couldn't get any gold, so they went back, and then they formed the 1908 expedition,
Okay.
which was just two younger brothers, is Willie and Frank McLeod, and so they formed that one. Charlie stayed behind. They got this other dude to help them out. I forgot his name. Um, I want to say McCarthy, but I'm probably thinking like the Beatles. But so so he stayed behind. The oldest brother stayed behind. The younger two, along with the other buddy, they went up there and they were going to be there for like a while. So I think like 2 years went by, and finally the older brother was like, "All right, dude, it's been 2 freaking years. Let's go find. So they put a team of I want to say 5 or 6 people together, and they
Mhm.
went up to go searching for him. And when they came to chamber 2 of that river, I was saying it was divided into 4. When they came to that, when the shoreline first started coming into visuals, um, and if I'm wrong on any of this, because I'm going off of memory, um, but I know the dates. Those are things I do know. So they saw the tent set up, so they
Right.
went over there to check it out. And the first thing they saw, clear as day, was okay, so that's going to be part of the thing, a burnt body
Yeah.
with that was clearly decapitated, but it was like reaching, right? And what it was reaching for was a gun that was leaned up against a tree. Then when they investigated further, there was a body hanging halfway and halfway out of the tent,
Mhm.
um, decapitated as well, and the other dude was nowhere to be found. So the thought of it is okay, like the other dude robbed him, and the gold was gone, So the other dude, third party, robbed him of the gold, blah blah blah. But this is going to recount itself a lot through the tales. But there's always this element of fire, an element of decapitation, and an element
Mhm.
of almost paranormal, no reason it should happen kind of a thing. So it was like, well, what's going to burn up a dude and decapitate him? Why? And later on, there's burnt cabins and stuff like that. Why wasn't the tent burnt as well? You
Mhm.
know. And then they ended up finding another skeleton in the vicinity, but they couldn't prove that it was the third dude. But it was missing its nugget as
Wasn't he
well.
propped against a tree, or like one of them
That
was
was
propped against a tree?
it. Might have been. I know the gun was propped against a tree.
I remember hearing about a body.
Yeah,
It was found
it might
somewhere
have been.
from the camp that was like,
Yeah. Okay.
again.
I'll go with you on that. Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah. So yeah. So then it became like a kind of a thing, and I know that like in. So that was in like that expedition was 1908. I know another dude in like 1912 went same thing. They found him decapitated. Another dude and his buddy went in 1921, I believe. Or no, there's another dude who went in like 1914.
okay.
And that was a burnt down cabin, right? Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, like I said, I'm shooting off a memory on this, so. But I remember, so they came in like almost like 7 to 10 year increments. That people were just like, finally they got the gold got to their head, and they're like, I don't care what they say, we're going anyway.
I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a lot of. I'm just gonna do a vast, and then I'll let you can chime in any details you know of. But so some of the weird ones were one of them. These two dudes went. I want to say that was the 1921 expedition, and he went out. There was two guys. One of them said, "I'll be back in a couple of days. I'm going to go check all the traps and all that, the gold traps or whatever."
Right.
Or they might have even been hunters. And dude went to go find him because it was like 10 days and he hadn't come back. And they found him like sitting at a fire, like he had a fireplace, or not a fireplace, but a fire made. And it looked like he was just sitting there all peacefully, like enjoying the fire. But, there was no fire and he was holding his matches. Like,
okay.
But he didn't look distressed. He looked like he was just like enjoying the fire. And so a lot of people think, oh, he's like flash froze. You know what I mean? Like, so that I think that, yeah, I think that one is the first one I can recall that has a paranormal thing to it.
Right. And there's the sightings of the white creatures, like on the mountainsides and in the woods, for people that have gone in and obviously returned or gone in to look for bodies. Like there's stories, which is interesting to me because, when you hear about white creatures, it makes you kind of think of the pale crawler thing. But yeah, but those, for me anyway, are like a relatively new creature, right?
Yeah.
It's like, for me, those are definitely egregores from creepypasta stories, right?
Yeah, because you don't hear about the closest thing I can think of that's old, cave drawings and stuff like that is the ant people.
The what people?
The ant people. Like the natives believed in the ant people, especially in, the New Mexico, Arizona territories. But other than that,
people live like in the earth, like the mound people. There are stories of like seeing the ghost lights on the mounds, and it's the people that live in the mounds that come up to get you.
Yeah. But one thing that is interesting, and I've only heard this once, so don't quote me on it because I'm going off of secondhand knowledge. But apparently that entire mountain region, or that fault line that runs from Nahanni all the way down to the New Mexico, Arizona territory, Then you got like Superstition Mountains where you're finding headless people also. So it could be
That is true. That is
right.
true, right? But I mean, so you've got Superstition Mountain and mountains, and then you've
Yeah,
got Nahani Valley, right, north.
right.
You don't hear a lot in between, though. Like you don't hear
Right.
a lot of headless stories popping up, like
Yeah. In Denver.
yeah, in the Rockies,
Right.
right?
Right.
Which I would think like you would, and you're right. Like that's a good point. Like, and when I do, anytime I hear about like people missing their noggins, like being discovered in remote areas, I always immediately think back to Nahanni. You
Yep.
know, because like I said, that's been bouncing around in my noggin since I was a kid when I first heard about it.
Right. But I mean, if you considered it an underground cave system, these could be
Mhm.
the guardians of the entries and exits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
keeping people out of the entire thing, you know?
And I mean, let's consider also like something that lived exclusively underground. I would 100% to be very pale, expect it to
Yeah.
be very pale. So that would explain what people are seeing, like crawling around on the cliff faces
Yeah.
and ducking in and out through the forests.
Like the movie Descent. It was decent.
Just- it was good.
It was
It reminds me of the original Time Machine, right? Because the
okay.
Morlocks who lived underground were completely
Okay.
just albino from living underground.
Right.
I mean, and when I think of pale creatures, I mean, obviously pale crawlers pop those that one completely CGI'd photo of that thing, like, you know,
Yeah. With the big wow.
crawling and yawning at the camera.
Yeah.
But then I also think of Morlocks with the Time Machine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just my kid when he's tired and doesn't want to go to bed. I want to stay awake.
Yeah,
No,
that's like your
go to
kid
bed.
like creeping into your room at like 3 a.m. and scaring the crap out of you. You're lucky you don't get a foot to the face. Like, don't do that. You better announce yourself from the doorway.
Identify yourself
Yeah,
immediately.
make a lot of noise and say my name many, many times on the way over to me. It's me, Mom. It's me. It's okay. It's me.
It's just me,
A
it's just me, it's just
nightmare.
me.
So somebody said that 44 people have been reported missing in Nahani Valley, which is interesting because you really only hear about the big ones, right? The big ones that were
Right.
found, you know, missing body parts.
Right. And
But
that's
it is a very dangerous place. Like any remote area is going to be dangerous from terrain. It's going to be dangerous from wildlife. I mean, that's far enough north. There's got to be grizzlies walking around in there.
right.
And the terrain itself is rugged. And that, I mean, when I used to do training camps, I would always say, like, I don't care if you're going on a month-long expedition into the Rockies or if you're going into Farmer Ted's back 40, like, you never go alone because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just don't. You could, I mean, nobody plans to hurt themselves, but I mean, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, a broken leg is a death sentence if you don't know what you're doing, you know, and you're miles away from anything.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, but you know, on the reported part, that's just the report. Okay, so like pre-reported. So if you go back to indigenous people and their stories and tribes that went missing there, and that's not going to be in the reported section.
Sure.
And also on the other end of the spectrum is if you get to like when you start talking missing 411 and like you know Yosemite or these big national parks that that the reports might be not just not reported. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
that's true. I mean,
you know, so who really knows?
I mean, you
But
have
that's
a lot
not
of people
reported.
trying to live off the grid these days too. So how many of those people could potentially go missing? You know,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah. So, but I mean, just from being reported. So, like, if you were to tell me that, you know, in Austin, between Austin and Bastrop on on the Colorado River. There's been 44 people reported missing, and I'm gonna cock my head like a dog. What? No, I'm not going.
See, now I'm the opposite. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going. I want to see what that's about.
Well, I'm going, but I'm taking ammo with me.
Well, heck yeah, I'm not going there like with my fists. You're gonna catch these hands.
I'm not gonna be like, there's gold in them there hills. I'm just gonna go find the gold.
I mean, but here's the thing, though: those miners had guns. That didn't help them.
Right.
Didn't help them. One dude was found missing his noggin, reaching for the gun that didn't help him.
Yeah. Another one I remember that was like paranormal-esque was there was like, I think there was a camping or a hunting party and like a camping party, but they were set two different directions. There was this chick, I think her name was Anna, and she went missing. They like woke up and she was completely gone, and no signs of a struggle or anything like that. But then after the other party heard about the news from the hunting party that she went missing, he felt compelled to tell the police about, he said he was sleeping on the riverbank, and he was hearing like small stones and like gravelly pieces falling into the river. And he said he looked up and there was this lady completely in the nude, and she was crawling on all fours, crawling up the side of the
I remember that story.
Yeah. And said that she looked like totally possessed and looked disfigured, and so
I mean, you go feral.
Overnight, just be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go feral tonight.
I'm done with this thing called sanity. We're gonna crawl the face naked, making faces at the kid on the riverbank.
She ate some of my samples and was like, I'm going.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Right. Yeah, and then there was the one dude that was in the sleeping in his sleeping bag, and he was untouched other than the nugget missing. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're wrapped, okay, here's the thing. You're wrapped up in a sleeping bag, right? I've had this dilemma myself. You zip yourself up because it's cold as hell, right? Mm-hmm. Something kicks off, takes a minute to wrestle your way out of that sleeping bag, especially, you're passed out cold, trust me.
Yeah, but if you're thinking like it was a grizzly or something like that, then no, I would have tore through.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna. What is he like laying there letting it chew on his neck? Yeah, no.
Right. Yeah.
No, the missing head, the people with missing heads, that's not a grizzly. I mean, and if it were predation, right after the fact, I would expect there to be more than just this missing. I mean, they would be distributed.
Right. Because that's what the authorities said. A lot of them were. They're like, the only reason that is because animals drug it off. And it's like, yeah, they're not that picky. Like one's gonna take one piece, one's gonna take another, and you're gonna be.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. Flesh is flesh.
Yeah.
Be like, that's
my dear sir, I'm so sorry. You wanted the forearm?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I know that some of the murders are blamed, right, on indigenous groups, right?
Yeah.
The Dene, which I have I don't like that because I've heard stories that the Naha were not particularly, like when I was a kid, right? And I'm reading these stories, I read that the Naha were like not particularly vicious. Right. But here lately, like when I would do, a little bit of research into it, I hear, oh, no. They were they were not friendly. They looked at, these gold miners as, unwelcome interlopers, which maybe they did. But I don't know. Like when I was a kid, hearing that they weren't particularly vicious, and then now, oh yeah, it was them, it's just like blaming to me, and that kind of pisses me off. But that's not to say that there wasn't maybe another group located farther inland that could be a little more antisocial, right? But the main group, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that I don't know. It's like native blaming to me. I'm real sensitive about that.
As well, you should be. No, but so like when I think about the whole aspect of it, in its entirety, globally.
Yeah.
No, but I start subscribing to like a bone tomahawk kind of a theory.
Yes, that like a relic kind of like person, tribe, whatever you want to call it, like group of people.
Like a tribe that's more ancient than indigenous, and troglodytes,
and they're broken off from the main group and living kind of like deep in there, because again, this is a seriously remote place. It is a seriously remote place. And somebody in chat also mentioned that there are places in there that are restricted. Right? You're not allowed to go in there. That's where I want to go. Why can't I go in there? Right? Is it public land? Right. Why can't I go in there?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I don't like people. Well, it's for your own. Well, why? Is there an active volcano about to erupt? What's happening in there that is like you're protecting me from me?
From me, right? From me being able to go anywhere in this world that I want to go. I mean, I can go climb Mount Everest, most dangerous mountain in the world. You let me do that. But
we'll use your corpse as a waypoint. But I'm sorry, you can't go in that valley.
Right. Or you can't go in the freaking Grand Canyon. This part of the Grand Canyon is closed.
See, any place like that. I mean, no. Listen, if it's like, if it's top secret military testing, I do kind of get that, right? I do kind of get that. But just come on. Like, you got to give me a better excuse than you're not allowed in here. Is it in public land, dude?
Right. Right.
I
subscribe to that fact when they start shutting these places off like that, and especially when they start doing when they start doing the national forest. Oh, it's for the preservation of. No, it's because they know if you go in there, you're going to see a Bigfoot, and then you're going to be a Bigfoot turd.
Pretty much, that's how I look at it. And Tech said they restrict areas and use the excuse that it's because of endangered species there. Well, that's why you don't build there, right? That's why you can't build a skyscraper there, because you're going to wipe out the northern red-tipped owlet or something. You can't be coming in here with your motor cars and your skyscrapers. I get that. But if it's we're talking remote areas. If there are less than 500 people a year traversing a, 10,000 acre or larger, more than likely, space, the impact they are going to have is negligible. So give me a break.
Yeah.
They're not out there like packing in barrels of toxic waste. Come on now.
And when you issue into the danger factor, okay, it's too dangerous for you to go.
Well, now that thank you.
Right, but now that modern technology is coming to fruition, now they're like, no, drones aren't allowed. Well, what am I going to do? Break my drone? Is that going to?
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean even though I'm not physically putting myself into danger or going into dangerous territory, my little camera with freaking helicopter fan can't go in there.
Well, I mean, they probably don't want like 10,000 like drones in the trees because trees are notorious drone nets.
Yeah, but I think that just makes me more suspect. I'm like, oh, so
like if I can't go in there, it's assumed my drone can't go in there.
Right. But
the very fact that you're restricting it, like a public land from public use, it incenses me. Like, and being told it's for my own good. You're not what? Okay, Dad. Like, no. Yeah, I mean, and after a certain point, my dad was like, "You want to like stick your finger in a light socket? Have at it." Like, that's not a good idea. But if you just really got to do it,
you gotta have to find out.
Yeah,
he's gonna learn one way.
You're gonna learn one way or the other.
But yeah, so I think that whole mystery, I can see on both sides. You go messing around in territories, especially where there are potential indigenous people trying to protect their land, yada yada yada. But the fact that there's the weird coincidences, like the dude that was in the cabin and the top of the cabin caught on fire, but yet he died inside of it. So he had plenty of time to get out. But
like, nope.
Yeah, exactly.
Choose the flame.
Yeah, exactly.
What's keeping him in there? Yeah, you know what? That reminds me of Tremors when that guy was up on the tower.
Yep, on the tower.
And they're like, he died of thirst. And
dehydration.
Yeah, they were like, what the heck? Why would he not come? Like, It takes a long time for that to happen. That's a dedication to not touching the ground.
Right. Or what was that one in Russia? Dyatlov's Pass.
Oh, Dyatlov, yeah.
Yeah. So there's something that's either scaring people in or scaring people out.
Yeah, see, Dyatlov is interesting to me because not so much because of the condition the bodies were found. Like avalanche can like create all of that, right? Like the trauma to the bodies, all of it. I can explain away with avalanche. I can explain they heard it coming, they cut an exited. Like I keep a knife in my tent because if a bear's coming in one side, trust me, I'm going out the other, and I'm not unzipping it. So I can see avalanche like explaining away a lot of that. What I can't like get past is the radiation.
Right.
So you get slammed by an avalanche, like it'll create tissue damage, right? Similar to a car accident. It will bury you. You will. But the radiation is what I can't get past.
Right. No, I agree. That and the distance between the four people that wound up like way far away, and they were, I want to say, they were like, they weren't covered in snow, and they were laying like on a blanket and had like a nice pallet set out. And I'd have to redo it, but that one, I'm like, wait a minute, why are these dudes trying to run up a tree? I can see avalanche, right?
Right.
Get to a higher point. But these other cats got so freaking far away from it. You're not out running an avalanche like that. You know what I mean? So,
right. Well, I mean, let's consider it's pitch black. Do they, like, you don't know what direction you're going in. You don't know if it's coming. You don't know how big it is. You just hear. Like, I run nuts into the dark too. But like I said, a lot of that I can explain away. Like, people try to make, oh, well, their eyes were missing, this was missing. Well, yeah, predation. Like, and yeah, it's not like they were found 2 days later. It was a minute before their bodies were.
Yeah, it was like 6 months or something.
Yeah, so I mean, natural, like the cold slows it down, but it doesn't arrest decomposition. Like it's still going to happen. Soft tissue is going to go first.
True.
So all of that is just not particularly interesting to me, like when you consider the case for avalanche. But like I said, the radiation, there's no radiation in avalanches.
Yeah.
Typically. It's coming off a uranium mine, you know.
It was Russia, so
Going in the dark, so I don't know. But the mountain itself was like the mountain of death.
Yeah,
the Urals. Yeah. And that's another place that I was interested in visiting, just to check it out. You know, there's okay, well, the Urals, the Ural Mountains. Yeah. Russia in particular, no. But the Urals, yeah. So I remember watching this one documentary about, and this was in Russia. So there are these cauldrons. Are you familiar with it? The cauldrons that are buried out in the kind of swampy area.
This sounds familiar.
I want to say it's inside shapes that are buried out there. And there was a team like kind of researching them, and they all started getting sick, like kind of radiation sickness sick. And they couldn't figure out what these giant ass cauldrons were used for. And when they got near them or spent any time around them, like they got seriously ill and had to call it off. So have you heard of that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
And I can't remember. I'm going to have that. I mean, just talking about the Urals made me like hop over to that in my mind. I don't have any info other than that on it. So that would be interesting to kind of dive into and talk about.
Heck yeah. We'll have to do some research and get on one of those.
Mm-hmm. And then the permafrost. Shit. All right. I don't know what that was about.
What?
Oh, my thing was spinning.
You froze up too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I froze up too.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like the bacteria that is potentially coming out of the permafrost is concerning, right? And also it's releasing the methane pockets, right? Because they're talking about finding these giant pits, but it's blown out, right? So it's pressure coming out. Can you hear me when it does that?
It looks like you fell asleep on camera.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with because I'm hardwired in. I shouldn't be having any issues.
Maybe you got some secret software down.
Well, I'll tell you what. Apparently, we're talking about stuff that they don't want us talking about.
Right? Yep. So
tough luck. Figure a way to talk about it.
So, what other ones you want to touch? I know we had a few different ones we were shuffling around.
So we talked about.
There you are.
Pissing me off is what it's doing. Yeah, I am hardwired in. There is absolutely no reason for it to be doing this. So I'm going to kill my camera. You can talk about the 27 Club because you're not freezing.
Okay. So, yeah, 27 Club. So my whole gig about that is, first and foremost, when you're talking about actors and actresses and famous people and stuff like that, you could probably start a 29 club, a 22 club, a 34 club, so I'm not totally sold on the fact that um, it's not just a coincidence. I think that the only reason that it became a eerie subject was because of the Robert Johnson thing. And if you really look into the Robert Johnson thing, no one really knew how old he actually was when he was actually born. So to say he's part of the 27 Club it can be inaccurate, because if you don't know the time of someone's actual birth or the date of someone's actual birth,
Right.
then you can't call him 27. But I still think it's a very fun and um, inquisitive subject for people like us who like to know, what was going on with it. What happened to River Phoenix was always puzzling by his passing. I don't know, man. Viper, man, he was on one, but it was very tragic. That River Phoenix, that did suck losing him, because he was one of the cool cats of the '80s. You know, he had a lot of potential, but this is quite a coincidence. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix. Man, there's so many of them. But then again, also, during the era whenever a lot of them, you know, passed, especially in the '60s, Janice and all them, you know, that was a very strung out time for musicians and people back then. And especially when you're talking being a musician or being an entertainer, um, 27 is a very dangerous time.
Well, yeah.
Because you're just getting enough money to do whatever you want and have anything brought to you that you want, and you're still young enough to be very irresponsible about
Right.
your usage. So
So, yeah, but then you consider like the celebrities, like, okay, so more modern times, like Amy Winehouse was
mhm,
one of them, and Anton Yelchin is one. He was 27 when he was killed. Now, Amy, of course, we know what took her, but Anton's was 100% like a crazy freaky accident.
right,
And when you look at the list, yeah, some of it, especially back in the 60s, was definitely,
yeah,
the illicit related, but, a lot of them aren't. Like a lot of them are just accidents, like car
yeah,
accident, this accident, which I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, I
yeah.
wonder if we took, like, honestly, if we just took like any number, like any arbitrary, like 31. Is there a 31 club? Is there
A
a
30, exactly.
37 club? There's bound to be quite a
And it's
list of celebrities.
right, and it's only because those people are famous that you actually
Right.
even look into the fact of when they passed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I mean, Fat Pat was on the freaking 27 Club. I don't know. Texas people should know. If y'all don't, boo on you. But
I wasn't around
like,
here.
it was the late '90s. But so because I actually did a show on it, and I started writing down 27 Club people, and man, the list was huge. It was almost like a page in the back half of the page.
Hmm.
So, and then it just made me wonder, okay, and that's just musicians within themselves. So, like, how many actors, how many directors or
Right.
playwrights, or but I think that the reason why that was sparked the way it was goes back to um, um, lose my nugget. back to the Faustian theology, right? Where the
Right.
selling of the soul, and then you had Robert Johnson at 27, who supposedly sold his soul. So you combine those two, and then you start seeing people die at the same age, and you're like, oh, was it part of it? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I
Right.
think that's that those two groupings of um, the Faustian deal and the age of one of the earliest rock and roll blues icons ever. You
Well,
know,
I mean, he was singing about Crossroad Blues, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
and we know what goes
Hellbound on
down
my
at the
trail.
crossroads.
Yeah, that was in the
It
Delta.
depends on the kind of crossroad too, and sort of what you get.
Hmm.
You know, what you bring.
I do
Everyone's
believe.
different.
Yeah, and see, but I also have another theory about young musicians that pass that are. So I do believe in the Faustian bargain, right?
Mhm.
I do
Mhm.
believe that um, the dark one, the Hasatan, is actually what uh, influences through music, especially we see it nowadays everywhere. It's like more predominant than it's ever been. But I think when it comes to young musicians passing, is not always the Hasatan taking the soul back or whatever because of the deal. I think a lot of it is in a godly manner because he's taking these people before they get corrupted by money and stardom and turning their leaf, towards the dark side. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I really do. Like, I think there's a lot of bands that, they got taken early because the good side doesn't want to see them corrupted by the dark side. And eventually they will because, they're going to seek fame and fortune and be willing to trade whatever for it. That's just me.
Well, I mean, you want it bad enough, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Because we all seen the interview of dang it, what's his name? He's not even that great. Bob Dylan. I mean, he is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it up the bed, and I'm in the bed, and makes it up the medicine. But where he talks about the Faustian bargain, where he talks about they ask him why he's still doing it. He says because he has to basically fulfill his contract to the captain of the other side.
And
Yeah.
what is your contract?
Right.
Exactly. I mean,
Exactly.
because
But I
other
think,
people's contracts were brought up pretty short. Like old blues man, that wasn't a very long contract.
yeah, no, not at all. And that one's also a very weird one. Just like I forgot the name of the dude, but he was in like the 17 or 1800s. But he was a violinist, and he's considered one of the
Mhm.
first. And same concept, like couldn't play a lick for nothing. Everybody made fun of him. Disappeared for a little bit, and then came back, and it sounded like two people were playing the violin at the same time. Same with Robert Johnson. They said it sounded like
Mhm.
multiple people playing, and he was garbage. Like he was, they called it making noise back in the, you know, back
Mhm.
in the day. And they were like, man, all he did was come around. He just made noise. And then he went off, came back, 6 months later, and he could play like it was two people playing the guitar at the same time, you know.
Wow.
But there also is a side story that him and this dude, Robert Johnson, this dude, I think, don't quote me on it. I think his name was like Moondog or something like that. I can't remember the dude's name. But they said that whenever he disappeared, he went to go learn blues from that cat. And the way that they did it is they'd play in a cemetery all night. And so it's like a alternate of the Crossroads,
Mm.
but it's the same concept. You know what I mean?
The thing in the cemetery, though, what you get at a crossroads and what you're going to get in a cemetery, I don't think are the same thing.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You got to conjure it up into that cemetery.
Yeah. Now I think it was Blind Dog or something, or Sundown or something like that. But yeah. There's like an alternate, and they're like, no, what happened was they were seancing and learning in a freaking cemetery, and there wasn't the actual crossroads. But then again, if you really look into that legend or lore, it's really weird how they know the exact crossroads. Like it's a highway and a farm to market
Well,
road.
Well, the type of you've got a Y crossroad, you've got a 4-way crossroad, you've got a 3-way crossroad. That's what I'm talking about, the different crossroads, right? So the different
Yeah.
shapes will give you different different things is hanging out in the different shapes. But
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, at the end, like, you want to make a deal. You take your box of goods there at midnight.
Yep. You come back a legend.
You FAFO.
Yeah, for real. And it is very odd because Pyro, I think it was Blind Dog Fulton, but how when you go back to that old of music, I mean, other than Robert Johnson, name any blues players from the 20s. So there's something about it that made it stick into people's heads. And maybe it was the movie Crossroads with Ralph Macchio. I don't know, but there's a reason why we all know that name. And is that the reason why? I don't know.
See, I knew about the Crossroads before I knew about him. You want to know how I heard about him?
Huh. Let's
Supernatural. I'm not even kidding. I think I might have heard like background noise about him before, but it's not like I knew what was up. But I didn't really hear his story until that, and I was like, oh, so that made me dig into it more.
No, I remember Crossroads with Ralph Macchio in the 80s. Ray Don Chong.
Never saw it.
What? Oh, no. Dude. Yeah, I think it's Steve Vai that actually plays the guitar. Ralph Macchio learned his own parts, but there's at the very end of it, they have like a guitar battle between his name's Scratch or whatever it's saying.
It's like the Devil Went Down to Georgia, but with guitars.
Right, yeah. And he's like, I'll put my boy up against yours, but I need a new soul, and he's like, don't you do it. And they battle it off. And the only reason why the dude loses, the Satan dude loses, because he's a rocker, is
Old
because
Scratch.
is because
Mephistopheles,
Ralph,
whatever you want. Right.
Ralph Macchio started with classical music, so he could play like Beethoven and shit. So he's like, how do I beat him? It's a dope flick. You got to check it out if you haven't ever seen it.
I'll have to check it out. I mean, anything about the Crossroads, anything about hoodoo, Crossroads, like old folk conjuring is interesting.
Yeah, and it's 80s. I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, it's the 80s, so let's face it. It was better.
Oh, not to steer off point, but I did watch last night. I watched a new horror flick, which I don't really like doing. The Deliverance with Glenn Close, and there's like 3 or 4 really good actors, but it's very loosely based on the Demon House.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you remember that one?
I remember that one. That one actually kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
I mean, and as much as I hate to admit it, I watched the Zach Bagans documentary about the Demon House.
I did too.
Yeah. And I will say that, like, I feel like when they were panning around, they did like legit catch some weird stuff. Like, they did catch some weird stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, but it's very loosely based. You're like, wait a minute, is this about? It is, but is it? Yes, I guess it. Because they're like in a red brick house,
Um,
like in New York, or like a, it reminds me like of a Harlem district type of a thing.
mhm.
So yeah, no, it's not the squealing like a pig deliverance. It's
No,
called
no.
Nahini Valley.
So I want to see In a Violent Nature because I that's supposed to be really good. Have you seen it yet? Because that's new.
I know not this of which you speak.
So hop on over to YouTube and check out the trailer for it because
Okay.
it looks pretty intense. It's a kind of like Jason, right? Where he comes back from the dead and he's tracking people down, but he doesn't say anything. He's just like a juggernaut. Just
Sweet.
yeah, and it's supposed to be pretty graphic. I have to check out like does the dog die.com to make sure it doesn't violate my particular set of strange rules that my brother makes fun of me for. Like I can't deal with it. I just can't. Like if kids are hurt or if animals are like hurt, like it ruins it. Like that's all I can. Like I dwell on that the whole film. It was good until the dog got run over.
Right. So
Poor
Pet
dog.
Cemetery was a no go.
When I was a kid, it didn't bother me. As an adult, I can't
As
deal
an
with it.
adult,
It's like
yeah.
it's messed up. Like as a kid, I'm like, oh, whatever, and it's make believe. And my
Yeah.
husband's looking at me like, that's not real, right? Yes, I know it's not real, but I am emotionally invested in these characters, sir.
That's hilarious. No, it is true. Like I think I touched on it during the Mondays episode, but um what is it? Monster Squad. Like at the very end, like because my daughter looks very native and she's expect still does, but when she was younger, she looked almost just like that girl, like and when she's like, Frankenstein, don't leave me, he's like, boy. Like I remember watching that when she was about that age. And my older daughter, like looking over me, she's like, Dad, are you crying? I'm like, shut up.
No, I'm not
Don't,
crying. You're crying.
you're not
Stop.
crying at all.
Okay, so when Binks bites it at the end of Hocus Pocus, I cried
Yeah.
as a kid. I cried as an adult. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
like,
Jennifer one.
he's free. He's free and everything. Like, yeah, but his little cat body's not okay. Like, I'm not okay. My kids would cry. Like, I traumatized my children with that show. The Monster
No, that's
Squad.
a Jen.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
watched the Monster Squad not that long ago, and it's pretty disturbing. Like the intro is kind of disturbing, and I just remember thinking, I thought this was cool. Like I thought, like nobody had a problem with this. Number one, the storyline has like plot holes in it the size of my house. And the beginning, I want to say somebody like some kid gets sucked into the portal as like a
Yeah.
sacrifice or something, and I was
Yeah.
like, I really did not give a shit about children my age when I
Right.
was my age. I
Yeah.
didn't care.
It was a
And it's
little
like he's a
girl.
turd. Take him.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how that it transitions into your emotional steps. Something that wasn't important is now heavily
And I
important.
can't watch it. And I'm like, just because I'm a parent, like I don't understand. I've suffered so much loss. Like at this point, I'm just like, yeah, I can't take anymore. I don't know. Emotional damage.
It is. It really is. It is. Yeah, it's like it's regurgitating all the stuff you when all these years pushing down deep down in the
Do you know
well.
how hard I worked at repressing that crap?
Yeah. Now you're
All
just
I'm
gonna
done
bring it up from
from a kid's
1982.
Halloween movie. Because the cat got what he wanted and his soul is with his sister, but I can't get past the fact that the cat is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the cat.
Because, well, you're a cat lady. You know?
Yeah, well, cats are chill. Like, what did that cat do? They're like people.
Ah.
Dogs are all up in your face. You're like, get away from your halitosis.
No, yeah. No, that's what we've discussed this before. Totally not a cat, dude. I'm like, hey, come here. And it's like, yeah, look at my butthole. I'm screw you.
Look at it, father. Have you seen
Get
that one?
out of it.
I'm gonna send you that one. There's a guy who imitates his cat, and it's hilarious. He does the whole like behind in the face deal.
Right.
I have something to show you. And then he turns around and he's like, look at it, it's glorious. Is it not the most glorious thing you've ever seen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I still need to put, oh gosh, I was going to put something up on your page. Which one was it? A lot of people had asked to see it. Oh, shoot. And I got distracted and didn't do it.
Dun, 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 dun,
Bum,
dun,
bum,
dun.
bum. Monica don't remember.
Yeah.
Because she's old.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I'm already there, dude. I'm older than you are.
I know, but I still don't feel old. So.
I don't either, but gosh darn it, when I can't remember crap, I'm like,
Memories.
Oh,
Yeah. Memory and things that you can't eat that you used to be able to eat. Like,
you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to be able to wake up in the morning not in pain. That would be super.
That would be awesome.
I'm only 51. It ain't getting any better. Like, I am in a lot of pain when I wake up, and that really sucks.
No, I'm pretty sure I've done this like 4 times.
I can't even do that.
Since we started the show.
It's like, it's a lot. It's hard to stand up straight to just walk out of my bedroom in the morning.
Dude, you know, one of the things I've noticed that I do now, we're all getting off into old stuff.
I know, sorry.
Is no, you're good. Is now when I get out of my car, instead of like putting one foot down and then like turning, like I literally swing in my seat and put both feet down.
I've done that for a minute, but yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, I do that too. I do that getting in my car too. I used to be able to just like just slide in there, the one leg first. Nah, I got to do the old lady sit and spin.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit and rotate. So, books. Because I like books.
Yeah.
That's an interesting book that I got. It's called The Resurrectionist. It's interesting.
Right on.
And I encourage people that are interested in all kinds of creepy crawly things.
Which is the gist.
Because it kind of goes into, well, I'm not going to show this because then people will call me names. Hold on. It's like a demon. It's a satyr, but it's the skeletal structure. It breaks them down for satyrs.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's not a demon. It's a satyr. Merfolk. It's actually pretty cool. It gives like anatomy breakdowns. So, The Resurrectionist.
So you said satyr. That's interesting to me because I went through what would you call it? I guess Hebraic religion for a long time. So what's the definition of a satyr on that?
Oh shit! Now I got to go find it again. I don't remember.
The satyr in when you're talking like Hebrew, right? So the satyr is basically like a feast or a festival.
Yeah. So, and then there's, the satyr, right, in Greek mythology, right, the little pan-like thing.
Okay.
Goat horns, bipedal, like goat bottom, goat horns, human from the waist up.
Okay. Definition of anatomy, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so Smurf said, see, I always read that sitar, but yeah, it's Seder in Hebrew, well, English to Hebrew translation would be Sadr.
Yeah.
Not that, yeah. Huh. Interesting. Learn something new every day.
There you go. Okay, I'm topicked out. You got anything?
Now, I was gonna do time travel, but man, we could probably save that for like the pinpoint of tomorrow's show, and then kind of do like we did today. We'll do time travel for a little bit, and then see
Mm-hmm.
where the time takes us. You know.
Well, if you believed in intergalactic space, then time
Boy,
travel is a thing.
I
Because
ain't
the light we're seeing has already burned out, but we're seeing it now, right? So that's
right, right.
technically like we're seeing something that no longer exists.
Well, yeah, but even on a different scale, I believe because so like, have you ever heard of the Kozlov's mirror? Right.
Mm-mm.
So that actually that'll be a good one because that involves permafrost also, and because it thinks that, or it there's this thing you can do with water. So if you put water in a clear tray and you put it over like a symbol or um, like a letter, that's written obscure, like say a black C on a piece of white paper, and then you freeze it, it'll end up inside the ice. It'll have the same design. So there's this ideology that permafrost is, or ice and water actually is more like a hard drive, and it collects memory. So Kozlov's mirror was a fact that, or was an experiment done that they took mirrors and made circles, and you sit inside of the circle. And they only did it where there was time where permafrost was defrosting,
Mm-hmm.
and all these people were isolated, so they couldn't see the results. But they say, "What did you see in the mirror?" And people would see themselves for a while. It would go black, and then they'd start seeing symbols, and they'd start writing these symbols down on letter. No one was allowed to talk to each other. All the subjects were kept individualized, no communications, but they would see the same thing.
Okay, I'm Googling
And
that.
yeah, it was this dude in Russia, and he got thrown into jail, and so like he's up there with like Einstein and them, and he got thrown in jail for 10 years, so he missed out on like the evolution of science. So he was basically stuck in a prison with no windows or nothing, using his imagination on new physics and stuff like that.
Okay, so was it Kozarev?
Kazarev, I don't speak Russian. Yeah, starts with a K, ends with a
Yeah.
Z.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing.
Yeah, but so to me, like you were saying about the light from stars coming in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even a regular mirror, right? It takes time from your reflection from you to hit the mirror to reflect and then to come back to you. Even if it's milliseconds, microseconds, nanoseconds, whatever, it's still, you're not still seeing yourself in true time, because
Sure.
it does take time for the light to reflect. And then so
We're not
in
solid either. We appear solid, but we're not.
right, ipso facto, ipso facto, it's a time machine, because you're seeing yourself fractions of a second before you actually viewed yourself, you know. But so yeah, but I mean, uh, when we get into it tomorrow, I actually have to get like a little presentation together if I got time after work. But y'all all remember the dude that's standing in the crowd in like the 1930s or whatever, and he's like wearing regular t-shirt and has like the sunshades on. He's
Yeah, I
got like
remember that photo.
modern day camera. Like there's a whole thing of the dude next to him that claimed that he was also a time traveler, and you can actually zoom in on his face, and there's a dude at the Gettysburg Address, and he's like, yeah, I was there and at the Gettysburg Address. And you can zoom in on the Gettysburg Address dude, and you're like, that looks exactly like the same dude. You know, so yeah. So there's
just an NPC that's used repeatedly.
Right, yeah. And also, you know, the doppelganger thing, and as well as
I mean, let's look at the photographs throughout history that look suspiciously like current actors, like
Nicolas
Cage. I swear to God that one dude's Nicolas Cage, and I swear to God that other dude is Keanu Reeves.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But we're starting to see them get old, so it's like, yeah, wait a minute.
We're on to you. So, okay, Dorian, I guess it doesn't work anymore. Like you're in movies now. Maybe that's working against the magic. I don't know. Yeah. The one Smurfy said, the one with the photo or the phone cam in the '90s Mike Tyson match. That's a weird one too. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll touch on that for a little bit, and then you know, do the damn thing like we always do, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
And for those of you who didn't catch it on Monday, you need to hop on over to Breezy's channel and check out our 3-hour-long 80s horror movie extravaganza.
Yeah, I had a blast, man.
I did too, but I also had a bottle of wine, so.
Dude, I was so hungover just starting that show.
Your friends were probably like, "Who's that mouthy broad?" Like she wouldn't shut up.
No, actually, I got almost everybody on that was in the group chat. I mean, not the group chat, but on the group. Dude, they all loved you, and they're like, "Give me your freaking." You know, I'm surprised I'm not seeing them tonight because they were like, "Monica's awesome, man." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I fucks with her."
No kidding. Yeah. Oh God, please forgive me. Your one friend, he sent me friend requests on all my social media, which was cool.
Which one, Scotty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the white goatee.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a Lancer Dancer. Yeah. He usually has a pink goatee.
For some reason I wanted to call him Vance. I don't know why.
For the first like 5 years I've known that cat, he always had a pink freaking beard. Like
that's pretty cool.
That was his gig. So to see him the other day with white, it was shocking.
It was a shocking white goatee. Yeah, it was a shocking sight to behold.
Yeah, he's a pink bearded pineapple Baja Blast drinking full. And now he's got a white beard.
Yes, pineapple anything is awesome. I love pineapple.
I'm too immature for that one. But yeah.
You're too immature for everything tonight. Everything I say is like, I can't comment. I'm too immature. Can't comment. Too immature.
Not for tonight, for everything.
So I'll just sit over here and giggle. All right. Give you a sign off. Tell everybody how awesome you are and where to find you.
I'm not that awesome, but
I think you are.
Only because Monica's got my back. But yeah, so tomorrow at the Breezy Speakeasy, check us out. We do it every Friday. Monica is my lovely co-host, and for most of y'all already know this, but I'm going to keep saying it anyway. Keep tuning in. One love to everybody. Thank you for joining us. God bless, and keep searching for the truth because it's out there somewhere, and we just might find it.
Yes, we just might. Joe and I are going to go explore. Going to drag his ass out into the woods, and we might find it. We may.
I'm going to get like 20 feet from the car and be like, "Hey,
I'd be like walking off your Gen X.
Just sing it in your mouth and shut up. Let's roll. Here's a shot.
In through the nose, out through the mouth, Joe. So yes, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We had a good time just kind of talking about everything. And I'll be releasing another short here soon. I have to figure out what topic I want to cover on that. So if y'all have any suggestions, drop me a line at opw.monica@gmail.com. You can also message me on Facebook at Our Paranormal World. It's got my mug on it, so you know it's me. Or you can hop on over to Instagram to Our Para World and you can DM me there. Because I'll answer as long as you're not trying to sell me something. Which, like, I don't know, like all the Indian dudes are like, would you like to have more subscribers? No, I'm good. So, but if you got a topic for a short, because I've got all these things rolling around in my head, it's hard to like just pick one out and roll with it. So if there's something you just really want to hear me talk about for 90 seconds, drop me a line, y'all. And one more time, thanks for joining us. Hop on over to Breezy's channel tomorrow where we will be chatting it up again about time travel, apparently.
9:30 Indian time.
Yep. Yeah. 9:30 Central.
Indian time.
Indian time. Okay. Well, okay, there's also 9:30 Monica's time, which is whenever she rolls in. So.
That's Indian time. Yeah.
So we hope to see you there tomorrow night. I hope to see you all next week. And until